Remember when a world without smartphones seemed normal? When being a kid meant real adventures, not digital distractions? When childhood was about imagination and pure, unfiltered fun? Today, we will take you back to experience childhood moments that only those who lived through this decade truly understand. Are you ready to journey back to the most incredible decade of childhood? Keep watching, because these stories will transport you to a time when kids were truly free. Every morning began with a ritual that connected you physically to time itself. You'd reach for your wristwatch, feel its weight in your hands, and begin the gentle winding motion. Click, click, click. That soft mechanical sound was the heartbeat that started each new day. There was something satisfying about feeling the spring tighten, knowing you were giving life to this tiny machine. Your watch wasn't just an accessory, it was a daily reminder that time required your participation. Can you still hear that clicking sound? Modern children will never understand this intimate relationship with time, this ritual that made you an active participant rather than a passive observer. Picture a scene that would terrify modern parents. A 6-year-old walking 4 blocks to school alone, lunchbox swinging, no parent escort, no GPS tracking. This wasn't neglect, this was childhood. You knew every crack in the sidewalk, every friendly dog, every house where someone might wave. The walk was your first adventure, your introduction to independence. You'd meet neighborhood kids, forming groups that shifted like birds, sometimes racing, sometimes exploring, always discovering. You were trusted with your own safety, your own navigation, a responsibility that shaped you in ways supervised childhoods never could. Those round clock faces weren't just decorative, they were maps of your day. Learning to read the position of those hands was as fundamental as learning to read words. You'd stare at classroom clocks, willing the minute hand to move faster toward recess. During Saturday morning cartoons, you'd calculate how much time remained before your parents reclaimed the television. Today's children, surrounded by digital displays, have lost this visual poetry of time, seeing numbers, but missing the beautiful dance of hours and minutes that once made time feel alive. Here's something that will astound today's students. Backpacks didn't exist in most schools until the 1970s. You'd stack books carefully, balancing them against your hip, papers tucked between pages, lunchbox dangling from one hand, managing everything with pure skill and determination. On windy days, loose papers would threaten to escape. In the rain, you'd huddle over your books, protecting them with your body. Your arms would ache, but you'd make it to school, everything intact, nothing forgotten. The simple backpack, now taken for granted, was once a revolutionary invention that transformed the entire school experience, turning a daily logistical challenge into a simple task. The walk home from school held a special possibility, the corner store where loose change could transform an ordinary afternoon into something magical. You'd push through that screen door, breathing in the mixture of penny candy, bubblegum, and the indefinable smell of possibility. The candy counter stretched like a treasure chest, Mary Jane's, Bitto honey, wax bottles filled with colored syrup. At the soda fountain, you'd climb onto a spinning stool, feet dangling, and order an ice cream soda. The soda jerk would mix your drink with practiced efficiency, metal cup clanking against the mixer. Sitting there, sipping while the jukebox played, you felt grown up. This was your social club, your introduction to the adult world of commerce and community. What was your favorite corner store treat? Share in the comments. These stories connect us all. In the 1960s, children learned about money through direct tactile experience. No digital transaction could replicate. You felt quarters in your pocket, heard the jingle of dimes and nickels. Going to the store meant counting exact change, watching the cashier count it back. You learned math by calculating how much candy you could afford, figuring if you had enough for a comic book and soda. Every transaction was a lesson in economics and social interaction. You looked people in the eye, said please and thank you because the exchange felt personal and important. Unlike today's kids with magical plastic cards, you understood money's physical reality, its weight, sound, and finite nature when your pockets were empty. These lessons taught value no credit card swipe could match. The toy aisle in the 1960s would horrify modern safety inspectors. Science kits that could produce toxic fumes, plastic melting ovens operating at temperatures hot enough to cause serious burns, BB guns considered normal childhood equipment. But here's what parents miss. These toys taught genuine life skills. You learned to be careful because carelessness had real consequences. You developed respect for tools and understanding of cause and effect. Rock M, Sock M robots taught mechanical failure, Major Matt Mason figures broke, teaching you that nothing lasts forever. Creepy Crawlers ovens taught patience and respect for hot surfaces by letting you pour liquid plastic into molds. Yes, you got burned and scraped, but those injuries weren't tragedies, they were education. These burns and scars became stories, badges of honor, proving you'd engaged with the world, not just observed it safely from the sidelines. Imagine wanting to see a movie and having to wait weeks or months for it to reach your local theater. Then imagine having only one chance to see it, miss it, and it was gone forever. This was 1960s movie-going. Downtown theaters had 1 or 2 screens. Movies rotated weekly. No instant access, no "I'll catch it later," no second chances. When a movie you desperately wanted to see finally arrived, it felt like Christmas morning. You'd plan for weeks, save allowance, convince parents to take you on opening night. The experience was precious because you knew it was temporary. That anticipation, waiting, seeing the movie poster, knowing this was your one opportunity, made every film feel monumentally important. Going to the movies wasn't casual entertainment. It was an event you treasured because of its fleeting nature. Nothing symbolized 1960s childhood cool quite like the banana seat bike. That long, curved seat wasn't just functional, it was a statement of style. The Schwinn Stingray was the ultimate prize, with high-rise handlebars that made you feel like a chopper motorcycle rider. The moment you threw your leg over that distinctive yellow seat, you weren't just a kid on a bike, you were a rebel ready to conquer your neighborhood. Comfortable for long rides and stylish enough to make every kid envious. Those vibrant colors, electric blue, fire engine red, sunshine yellow, announced your presence from blocks away. Your bike was your freedom machine, your escape vehicle, your ticket to adventure. It represented pure independence, the ability to explore beyond your yard, feel the wind in your hair, and experience the thrill of speed. Subscribe to Vintage America Tales if you're feeling that familiar tug of nostalgia. We've got so many more memories to explore together. The joy began the moment you cracked open that red plastic egg. Inside was a ball of silly putty, a miraculous substance that could bounce, stretch, and perform magic. The real wonder happened when you pressed it against Sunday comics. You'd carefully place the putty over your favorite strip, then peel it away to reveal a perfect reversed image. Seeing Snoopy or Dennis the Menace captured felt like discovering a secret power. You could collect comic strips, stretch them into funny shapes, or preserve them like tiny works of art. This magic is lost today, not because silly putty disappeared, but because newspapers have vanished from homes. Without newspapers, silly putty is just another stretchy toy. But with them, it was a gateway to creativity, capturing the art that brought joy to Sunday mornings. The aluminum tray felt futuristic, compartmentalized, like an astronaut's meal. With its built-in organization system, Swanson's TV dinners weren't just convenience food, they were a glimpse into the future. Sliding that tray into the oven felt like participating in the space age. Compartments kept everything separate, meat, vegetables, and dessert in their designated spaces. It was engineering applied to dinner, efficiency made edible. For the first time, families could eat while watching television without chaos. Working mothers embraced this liberation from elaborate meal preparation. Children loved the novelty of eating food from the future. The TV dinner represented progress and the exciting possibility that technology could make life easier. That dessert section, usually a molten hot fruit cobbler, became a family joke that bonded Americans across the country. Prepare for something that will make modern children recoil in horror. Jell-O wasn't just dessert in the 1960s, it was a complete meal, a canvas for culinary creativity without bounds. Your mother approached Jell-O like an artist, ham and pineapple suspended in lime, gelatin, tuna and celery floating in lemon, vegetables trapped in tomato aspic like insects in amber. These weren't mistakes, they were sophisticated, entertaining. Jell-O even manufactured savory flavors, celery, mixed vegetable, Italian salad. American homemakers had embraced gelatin as the ultimate versatile ingredient. Picture yourself staring at a quivering orange mound with mysterious meat and vegetable chunks. If your mother insisted you clean your plate, you might have spent evenings negotiating with that wobbling mass. These meals represented an era's optimism, the belief that food technology could improve cooking, that convenience and creativity could create something entirely new. If you were a boy in the 1960s, Western movies weren't just entertainment, they were instruction manuals for manhood. John Wayne wasn't just an actor, he was a role model of American strength. Television shows like Gunsmoke and Bonanza dominated evening viewing. Bonanza held special magic as one of the first westerns broadcast in color. Finding a neighborhood color TV became a quest, and watching the Cartwright family felt like a community event. Your cowboy hat became your crown cap gun, your scepter of authority. These weren't just toys, they were tools of imagination that transformed suburban backyards into the Wild West. Cap guns produced authentic popping sounds and smoke, adding sensory realism to your adventures. The smell of spent caps, the click of the hammer, all contributed to transforming from suburban child to frontier hero. When was the last time you saw a child playing outside with a cap gun? That entire culture of imaginative play seems to have vanished along with the Western genre. Getting your first job in the 1960s meant joining the adult world in a significant way. At $1 to $1.50 per hour, those wages represented real money, enough to feel independent and capable. The job was about more than money. You wore a clean, ironed uniform with pride. You arrived on time, worked hard, and treated customers with respect. Whether flipping burgers or stocking shelves, you understood you were contributing something valuable to society. There was genuine dignity in that work. You were learning skills, developing character, earning your place in the adult world. Modern entry-level jobs might pay $15 per hour, but the sense of pride and professionalism seems diminished. Your first job taught you that earning money required effort, respect had to be earned, and any honest work was inherently dignified and worthwhile. The pogo stick represented pure physical joy, the challenge of balancing on a spring-loaded stick while defying gravity through determination and skill. The hop rod was the ultimate pogo stick, advertised as the first powered pogo stick, yes, a gasoline-powered pogo stick for children. The idea seems insane by today's standards, but in the 1960s, it was the pinnacle of backyard adventure technology. You'd spend hours on sidewalks, swaying until you found that perfect rhythm. When you achieved that magical flow state, bouncing smoothly, effortlessly, it was pure euphoria. If you could bounce all the way home without stopping, that was bragging rights worthy for weeks. Scraped knees and bruised shins were just part of learning. Badges proving you were willing to risk failure for the chance at flight. Your ant farm wasn't just a toy, it was a living laboratory on your bedroom dresser, providing endless fascination and education. For hours, you'd sit cross-legged, watching these tiny creatures build their underground civilization. They worked with purpose and coordination that seemed magical, digging tunnels, carrying food particles many times their own weight, communicating in ways you couldn't understand. The ant farm taught patience, observation skills, and respect for the natural world in ways no video game ever could. You were witnessing real life, real cooperation, real survival happening right there on your dresser. Fizzies were pure magic disguised as candy. These small, colorful tablets could transform tap water into a fizzy, flavorful drink, and you were the scientist making it happen. You'd fill a glass with water, drop in the tablet, and watch the immediate chemical reaction. The tablet would fizz and bubble violently, releasing colors and flavors while creating genuine carbonation. It was chemistry you could drink. With flavors from cherry to grape to root beer, Fizzies became the perfect summer refreshment. Portable, affordable, they gave you the power to create beverages anywhere with just water. The real appeal was the sense of scientific discovery. You were witnessing a chemical reaction, participating in a transformation, creating something new. It was education disguised as refreshment, science made delicious. Before private phone lines became standard, many families shared telephone service with neighbors through party lines. When you picked up the phone, you might accidentally overhear Mrs. Johnson discussing her grocery list with her sister. The etiquette was clear but not always followed. If you heard voices, you were supposed to hang up immediately. But let's be honest, sometimes the conversations were too interesting to ignore. When your family finally got a private line, it felt like entering the modern age. No more waiting for neighbors to finish calls. No more worrying about who might be listening. The telephone became your personal communication device, your direct connection to friends and family, your gateway to social interaction beyond your neighborhood. Every trip to the grocery store came with a special bonus. Trading stamps, green stamps, and blue chip stamps turned routine shopping into a treasure hunt that extended beyond the store. The cashier would count out stamps based on your purchase, and you'd carefully place them in collection books. At home, the whole family would participate in the ritual of licking stamps and filling page after page. The real excitement came from browsing redemption catalogs, kitchen appliances, toys, sporting goods, all available in exchange for completed stamp books. You'd calculate how many more shopping trips you needed to earn that new toaster or bicycle. This was gamification before the term existed. Shopping became rewarding beyond the immediate purchase, teaching patience, goal setting, and the satisfaction of delayed gratification. Opening a soda can in the 1960s required skill, strength, and the right tool. The church key, a metal opener with a sharp pointed end, was an essential piece of equipment every household owned. These openers were often promotional items from soda and beer companies with logos proudly displayed. You'd pierce the can with the pointed end, then use leverage to pry open a triangular hole large enough to drink from. It wasn't as simple as pulling a pop-top tab. Opening a can required effort, technique, and sometimes multiple attempts. But that first sip after working for it tasted sweeter, more earned, more satisfying. This was a basic life skill every teenager had to master. Today's children, with easy open cans, will never understand the small sense of accomplishment from successfully opening a stubborn soda can. In the 1960s, cigarette smoke was the background soundtrack of adult life. You could light up anywhere, on airplanes, in restaurants, in hospitals, in grocery stores. Smoking wasn't just accepted, it was glamorous and sophisticated. Every room had multiple ashtrays. The smell of cigarette smoke mixed with coffee and perfume created the distinctive aroma of adult social gatherings. Even pregnant women smoked regularly, as health risks weren't fully recognized. Looking through family photo albums, it's startling to see how normal smoking was in every aspect of daily life. The idea that smoking would one day be banned in public places would have seemed impossible to most 1960s adults. The television wasn't just an appliance in 1960s homes, it was a piece of furniture, a status symbol, and the undisputed centerpiece of family life. Console TVs were massive wooden cabinets that often dominated entire walls. These weren't devices you moved around. They were permanent installations requiring careful planning and strong floors. Built-in speakers provided rich, room-filling sound that made watching TV feel like a live performance. The lack of remote control was character building. Children served as the remote, jumping up to change channels, adjust volume, and fine-tune rabbit ears for better reception. You learned patience rotating those metal ears, searching for the perfect picture. Nothing captured the romance and adventure of 1960s entertainment quite like the drive-in theater. You'd load the family car with blankets, pillows, and homemade snacks, then drive to a field filled with cars, facing a massive outdoor screen. The ritual began with finding the perfect parking spot, close enough to see clearly, but not too close to strain your neck. You'd hang the speaker on your partially rolled down window, tune the radio to the designated frequency, and settle in for the show. The movie was only part of the experience. The drive-in was social theater where families picnicked, teenagers flirted, and communities gathered under the stars. Children could play on playground equipment before the show, then fall asleep in the backseat during the second feature. If you caught a double feature, you'd spend hours under the open sky, watching stories unfold while crickets chirped and stars appeared overhead. The drive-in combined entertainment with the comfort and privacy of your own vehicle in a way indoor theaters never could. The local soda fountain was more than a place to get a cold drink. It was the social center of childhood, where you learned to interact with adults and feel sophisticated. Those classic marble counters were always busy, staffed by soda jerks who mixed drinks with theatrical flair. Metal against glass, the hiss of carbonated water, the clink of ice cubes, these were the sounds of anticipation. You'd climb onto spinning stools, feet dangling, a chocolate malt made with real ice cream, a cherry Coke mixed to perfection, an ice cream sundae with hot fudge contrasting with cold vanilla. The atmosphere buzzed with conversation, laughter, and jukebox music. This was where you learned to make small talk, practiced being a customer, felt genuinely grown up. Every visit felt like a small celebration, a reward that made ordinary days memorable. Which soda fountain memory brings back the strongest feelings? Share your story in the comments. These 24 memories aren't just stories, they're the blueprint of a generation that learned resilience, independence, and wonder through real-life experiences. The children of the 1960s didn't just grow up, they discovered the world through adventure, curiosity, and unfiltered imagination. Which memory hit closest to home for you? Drop your favorite 1960s childhood memory in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Vintage America Tales to keep these incredible stories alive.